Okay, it should be coming up. It says 2 out of 2. It's recording 4 seconds. Phil, let's talk about communications today.
Okay.
And let me ask the first question. We go back just as long as each other, back to the Civil War. But what is the first time you had to gather a lot of useful information for a business plan or a project plan or forecast?
Well, back in the probably 70s, even before that, the late 60s, I think was the first time I had to do that, and it was a very manual task. I didn't have data, that I can resort to. I had to go get out of the library, make phone calls. We did have early communications where we can get faxes. I had information faxed to me as compared to now. I mean, now I go online. Actually, you call it the cloud. I can go through the cloud, for example, and get all the data I need from anywhere I need through Google, to other sources, instantaneously. It's overpowering.
Well, that's a good point. To really put this in context, what I remember was if you were putting a business plan together, each section took so long. For instance, if you wanted to get competitive information, you had to have a plan how you're going to get it. And we were very clever when we were running in the same company together. We would actually advertise for a salesperson saying New England. And these guys, the applicants from our competitors would spill their guts. But it took a plan to get data. It took so long to gather anything. There was no information available except maybe magazine articles.
Well, mostly you had to get through people. Magazine articles you can't control. So if you want to get information, you had to make phone calls. As you said, you had to do sort of recruiting people to get to talk to them, to get information. That was a common trick. Try to recruit somebody and really find out what was going on with competitors. Mostly it was talking to people. If you can get them on a phone or you can meet with them, that was difficult. Nowadays, you can get it online.
Even, we didn't have access. We didn't have a phone in every desk. Okay, when I was engineering, which is way too long time ago. It was interesting because, somebody would say, okay, Joe, you're on the phone, etc. It's so inefficient. And then you can have no privacy. Not every call was business, let's be honest. So I'm saying but I found that a lot of things that couldn't develop. Like, for instance, I got involved in starting a company in Hong Kong for the parent company in Southern California. If there was no teletext machine, we couldn't have done it. You couldn't have done that if we couldn't send them, like, Wednesday or Thursday, here's what we need for next week. I got an answer and hopefully an overnight flight. We're done. So telephone alone wouldn't have done it. The telephone would have got screwed up because by the time 3 people talked about the message, it would be inaccurate. But the typing, the number was there. People had the reading. So I'm saying that it just showed how all of a sudden we could use that to improve our communications between facilities. We could never have had an Asian operation without a teletext machine.
Well, you're talking about between facilities. I even had problems within my own organization. In order to get production control information daily, we had to have daily meetings. Nowadays, it's online. The people are actually not talking to each other. They just go online, get the information that's downloaded from the neighbor sitting maybe 3 desks away or another building. Within a company, you can't get communication a long time ago. Now you can.
Now it's all in writing, and sometimes I'm sorry the emails are so long to read and also to have the legal aspect. All right, so then in our career, we start using, the fax machine quite a bit, and before you know it, we were actually getting involved with PCs. So now sending emails, they were very good documents of what the reports were. So you didn't have to keep interviewing your staff meetings where somebody would be talking about what they did. Oh, I forgot that and all this stuff. So the communications got better with the documentation, whether it was fax or with PCs. But going along with that, the email, to me, emails was plus and minuses. I got to a point where I say, it was sacrilegious in our family. The first time we had a telephone, if somebody didn't answer the ring, I mean, pretty soon you'd fight over who was going to answer it. Nobody wanted to answer it. Well, the same thing happened with emails. Now I'm finding emails aren't necessarily read. If you put one or two sentences in a back and forth email, some people don't read the bottom part of it, so they're asking you questions if they read. So I'm saying emails themselves not the answer.
Well, it's even worse than that, Dick, because very often in an email you'll see an action being stated to a distribution list of more than one person, and no one responds because they're all thinking somebody else is doing it.
You got it. You got it.
So there's actually difficulty in communication with over-communication. We direct information to many people all at once simultaneously. Sometimes in email chains you get problems occurring because you get the situation where you really shouldn't direct the information to all the people that receive the information. So directing information, directing actions is a common consequence failure, really, of emails, even though they communicate a lot. I call it over-communicating.
You know, all along this time, there was the U.S. mail. It used to take even days for that at one time. Now it's a little better, but I still have a package sent to me. It takes 5 days to get to me. So email is slowly wiping out U.S. mail. There's no doubt about that. It's more efficient. But now all of a sudden it's shifted to the smartphone. And you know, with the billions of phones in this world, you know, people are doing it. And I still have a little trouble with the new culture, although I work with a lot of students. But it does baffle me to see four people sitting in a restaurant all on smartphones talking to each other. I saw a little problem with that. But there's no doubt about it between the smartphone and the texting. And texting, again, is getting the print right. So that's a wonderful thing. But on top of that, and you and I are both using a lot now, Google. Google is amazing. The whole internet thing's amazing. Okay? So I'm saying that Google allows us, we want to sit down now and work on a business plan. Within an hour or two, we get all the information we can get in numbers. Okay? Unfortunately, we still have to get out there and talk to customers because I don't know how to get perception from numbers. So your world, you're working with some small companies, so I assume the internet is a very good thing to have.
Well, I'll give you an example, Dick. I was at the gym today, and I'm on a project for one of my companies where we want to have a photo detector that would detect at 513 nanometers. I was sitting in a gym floor after resting from playing racquetball and looked it up on my cell phone on Google and got the information in 5 minutes. I got the information, what I need to do for a program, but before this, it would have taken weeks to get the information.
All right, but that's, again, it's getting a little complicated. I got a thing from the magazine Wired online. I've got 6 different options for a gadget. Well, it's got to be, well, I want email, I want Facebook, you know, it's amazing. But I really do feel working with startups quite a bit with even students and also Tech Coast Angels, we can get a lot of information, intelligent information, and we can save a lot of time and getting a business plan put together, working with some teams, giving them 4 or 5 assignments. Within a week or two, we got the whole plan. That's a marvel in itself. So I don't know what's going to come next, but I'm saying that this is pretty good. So I'm very happy with today's communications. Do you feel the same way?
Sure. The good part is the information comes to you real quickly, sometimes overpowering because you have too many choices. The only thing negative at times when you use texting and not actual visual communications is seeing the emotions of the people you're communicating with. Are they telling you the truth? Are you getting buy-in? Things of that type. That, I think, is not possible with texting. Probably possible with Skype like you and I are doing, because you can see emotions. But most often texting is used, and it's not the human interface portion is sort of missing.
Phil, I could give you an example, though, about voice, okay? One of the companies I was with, I was responsible for international. And once or twice a year, I bring people back from Italy, Germany, Switzerland, Brazil, okay? And I would sit there and tell a joke to the person on my left. And I know people have done this. And they would go around, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish. When it got back to me, it wasn't the same joke. So it reminds me of the Navy. The guy gives a whistle to go full speed ahead. By the time he went through all the tubes, okay, they were going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So look, I'd like to have a conversation again with you. Maybe next time we'll talk about our experiences with the computer industry.
Yes.
The first time we saw it.
Sure.
Try to tie in with that. And I appreciate your time.
Okay.
And I'll give you a notice of when we might talk again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Let me see if I can turn this off.